Well, better than the Jungle Book, my review of the live-action Beauty and the Beast next. Beauty and the Beast. So this is, I believe, the second live-action Disney movie they did behind what I said at the beginning with the Jungle Book. I was not a big fan of that one. So this is, of course, you want to say a remake of the Disney one back in 1991 by the same title. Well, if you don't know the old one, so just to kind of recap just as quickly as I can, pretty much at the very beginning of the film here, it's pretty much about this young prince who ends up getting turned into a monster by an old lady because of a rose and because of how much he's not nice. And he actually has to try to find true love, which actually ends up being Bella, played by Emma Watson in this film, before this rose completely dies on him here. So that's pretty much what the whole thing is on that. So what I enjoyed about this film, I gotta say, I was very surprised of what I was gonna like about it. I really have not really very little to talk about on the negative side here. I gotta be honest with you. I mean, a lot of these actors, if not all of them, surprised me with their music voice. I mean, they actually acted very well. Like I mentioned, they all sang their songs very well. And there might have been like one or two new ones, you know, on this one, I gotta say. But I really gotta say that everybody did such a good job in this. I mean, I mentioned Emma Watson. We actually have Luke Evans as Gaston, which I thought it was a perfect role for him. Josh Gad's character, LaFouf, who's supposed to be the gay character, I don't know why people were complaining about it. I gotta say, he was actually perfectly fine. The way that Josh Gad portrayed him, he did a good job with it. It made me laugh. I wasn't insulted at one point because this is Disney and all that. I thought he did a good job. Kevin Kline as Belle's father, oh my god, I mean, I missed that guy. Ever since the movies, sometime like mid-80s, I believe, or early 90s, there was a movie called A Fish Called Wanda with him and Jamie Lee Curtis. I can't really think of anybody else that's in there. I think John Cleese might have been another one. I gotta be honest, I've always really liked this actor. I gotta be honest, really fun, really enjoyable. And I liked him as the dad, you know. He wasn't just kind of that scaredy cat kind of character. I actually did like him for what he did in this film. And sadly, I hate to say this, I did want to see a little bit more about the dad, but he did a fantastic job. The person who played the Beast, I gotta say, Dan Stevens, I think was the actor's name. You only see him at the beginning, and you know, if you know it, spoiler alert, you only see him at the beginning and you see him at the end, and the rest is CGI monster. I gotta say, I really enjoyed the CGI monster. Thought it was really funny, and I was actually surprised about the Beast, how much he actually had more humor in him than they actually did in the cartoon version back in '91. I really liked some of his dialogue. A lot of the dialogue was great. It was written well, it was directed very well here. And like I said, the stuff that I really didn't like about it, more of a gripe than anything else I'm going to say about it, was Emma Watson. There might have been, like, towards the end of the movie, there might have been one or two songs. I felt like that she just was singing so much throughout this movie here that I felt like that towards the end that she really wasn't performing as well as I thought she kind of would on that. I was expecting, you know, still, not perfection, I get it, I'm no singer or anything, but hey, I'm no actor either to go into a musical, but I was expecting maybe some of her lines to be not, I guess I'd say a little bit better, not wooden, but maybe close enough to it that I was expecting when she was singing, but that was more towards the end. Most of it was really good, really enjoyable. I was fascinated with this Disney. He did another good job, hit another one out of the park, and I gotta say, I really, really enjoyed this film. Really not really much else I can really say. There is a big ensemble cast behind them of the voiceovers of like the candlestick, the piano, the clock, you know, the chip, the cup, and the tea kettle and all of that. Like, you kind of recognize their voices, and then it's like, oh, that's who it was kind of thing when you're watching the credits and all that. But they all did a good job. It doesn't matter if it's voiceover or really was acting or acting in front of CGI, you know, with green screen and all that. This was fantastic. This movie's actually clocked in at 2 hours and 9 minutes long. It actually went fast compared to the original that was like an hour 25 minutes or something like that. I was very thrilled with it. Have you seen this film? Give me a comment down below. I'll be curious what you thought one way or the other. If you haven't, I definitely want to say this is a huge recommend to go see this film. I gotta be honest, so far of the 3 movies I've seen this month with Logan, Kong, and this one, really only was a little disappointed with Kong. Logan was great. This one was awesome, very thoroughly. So, you know, we have a couple more coming out. We got Power Rangers, we got Ghost in the Shell. I'll be kind of curious to see how those ones will actually stack up, and will they still be continue being good? Will they be a little bit more disappointing? Especially next week with Power Rangers, I'll be curious. Thank you guys so much for watching another review, and as always, stay awesome.